great on the road, but they are trash on the trail. Those tires are just shit. I mean, it was like he was trying to, I don't know, he was like a kid in a Power Wheels tire.
Welcome back to a wet and muddy day at Northwest OHV in Bridgeport, Texas. There's a white Wrangler 4xe right in front of me, and he is having a terrible day. So I'm going to tell you all about it. This particular 4xe is wearing a set of Nitto Ridge Grapplers in the 35 by 12.5 by R17 size, and he's at about 30,000 miles on this set of tires. This is a meetup of Soft-Roaders Texas, and you'll see an SUV and a pickup in front of us, lots of Toyotas in this group, and we tagged along on the intermediate trails to have a little fun. There's a great set of trails in the western part of the park, just off of the Minos Loop, and you're going to see all three of them come together in this one spot here. Over on the left, we've got E103, 4 out of 5 difficulty, and maybe the hardest of the three. That's thanks to some large boulders and tight turns that can be troublesome in a longer vehicle like a Gladiator. Continuing past 103, we've got several more 4 out of 5 rated trails. These are going to be E102 and E105. All of these will take you back out to different points on the Minos access loop with varying degrees of difficulty. And in the case of my friend here, it's going to be a lot of difficulty today. Take a look at these wheel and tire-sized rocks strewn all over this stream bed or this washout. You'll notice that there's actively water flowing down, and a lot of the rocks are covered with some algae and they're very slippery. Nothing in this first section is too bad, but my friend is coming up on a spot where there's a large rock to the passenger side, and just past it, another large rock to the driver's side. And you have to make a choice if you're going to place your wheels up on the passenger side rock, squeeze past it, what kind of angle you're going to go through, that sort of thing. This is where it gets painful to watch and why we're talking about Nitto Ridge Grapplers. His front tires are not climbing the rocks, and the rear tires are just spinning in place and sliding him around. The rocks are wet, but this shouldn't be that big of a problem. This Jeep has a lot of extra features like lockers that can get it over these obstacles, and a lot of other vehicles went ahead of us that don't have as much capability as a Jeep. But for some reason, here he is just spinning his tires trying to get over these rocks. The Ridge Grappler is an all-terrain tire. Nitto calls it a hybrid tire, but basically it's similar to other all-terrain tires in terms of tread depth and tread pattern. It's a hugely popular tire in the Jeep market, and I think part of that is the sheer amount of sponsorships and advertising Nitto put into this tire in videos like Driving Line and other YouTube channels. It's certainly a good on-road tire. In fact, a lot of people really like it because it handles almost like a road tire. It's very quiet, better gas mileage. Overall, a good choice for somebody who's doing a lot of daily driving or road driving and only getting the trails now and then. And that's why there are some compromises, and I think we're seeing that here. You can certainly put some blame on the 30,000 miles on these tires, although that doesn't put them at the end of their expected life. Also, this Jeep is fairly new and the tires are only a couple of years old at this point. So what's going on here and why is he having so much difficulty? Well, I think we can look at 3 other factors. Number 1 is that the tread pattern of this tire is not really ideal for this setting. A Ridge Grappler is great for dry conditions, it's really good for slick rock, desert conditions, it's great on the road of course, but here it has a fairly flat surface and there's not a lot of void between the treads. Once it fills up with a little bit of mud or once it starts spinning on these slippery rocks, it doesn't have a lot of big gaps in the tread to really catch and get a grip. Number 2 is that these rocks are just really slippery. If you are walking up this stream on your feet, there's a pretty good chance that you just fall on your ass. And 3, my friend doesn't have a ton of experience on intermediate trails like this one. He might not know how to pick the best line. He might not have enough experience with his vehicle and with the features to put them all together in the right combination.
One more time, you had that. You were right on.
I'm going to drive up this section now, and you might notice that I take a different line over the passenger side rocks that were causing him a lot of problems.
His tires are fucking terrible, man. Ridge Grapplers, they're great on the road, but fuck, they are trash on the trail.
I'm also using the features in my Jeep as necessary, like front or rear lockers if things start to get really slick. And then there's another great feature in the JL Rubicon called Offroad Plus. When you turn on Offroad Plus, it changes the throttle and the brake response to be a lot more gentle. As you accelerate from a stop, it's much more gradual and you're less likely to spin your wheels. So that combined with 4-low and first gear, I'm just crawling very, very slowly over these obstacles. There's no slip, really not having any difficulty. I'm also riding on a Kumo MT71 mud terrain tire at this time. Those tires had really big lugs. It's a mud terrain tire. It also had really good wet weather performance. I think all these factors made it much easier for me to get up this stream bed than my friend. And here he is up ahead having the same problem. I've sped it up and you can see he's just backing up, stuck on a ledge, just can't get over, spinning those Nitto tires. I'm curious if any of you have had the same traction issues with Nitto Ridge Grapplers in wet conditions like this stream bed we just saw. Was it driver error? Was it old tires? Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you next time.